What are some easy ways to sell more of your high ticket offers? What kind of funnels convert best? What is the correct structure for a video sales letter that can bring you high ticket sales each and every day? What type of traffic sources work best for high ticket VSL funnels? Well, today's special guest is a master marketer who has the answers. If you are looking to scale your high ticket offers using proven funnels and marketing strategies, then don't miss out on this episode of the Marketing Podcast Party. Cue the music. Yeah, welcome to the Marketing Podcast Party, the only marketing podcast where you and I party together while discovering big, bold, and wildly successful marketing ideas that can transform your business. I'm your host, Daniel Den. Let's get this party started. Woo! Go. Oh man, I'm liking this one. Man, these are cool. These are.
Yeah, I love this.
I like those. I like those.
Yeah.
That's the first time trying those out. In today's episode, my guests and I are going to dive into the types of funnels that generate more high-ticket sales, and we are going to uncover some big, bold, sticky, and wildly successful marketing ideas. And after today's episode, if you'd like to access even more wildly successful marketing ideas, then you can find additional examples and case studies in my new book, Ideas That Influence. And the great news is that I want to give you a copy for free. Ideas That Influence comes with this amazing box experience, and you can get both the book and the box experience for free. You just pay shipping and handling costs. To grab your copy, visit bigideasbox.com. Once again, that's bigideasbox.com for your free plus shipping copy of the Ideas That Influence book and interactive box experience. And now it's time to introduce my very special guest. Janak Mehta is the co-founder of Clients Online, which is an Inc. 5000 company. He's helped his clients generate over $350 million in revenue. He is a master marketer and specializes in helping you build and drive traffic to your high-ticket funnels and offers. He also has helped manage over $100 million in ad spend, helping those specific clients achieve average returns on ad spend over 300%. And he's a great friend of mine. I'm very excited to welcome to the show the one and the only Janak Mehta. Let's go, Janak. Woo!
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you, Janak. Man, so what's the story? What got you to where you're at today? Tell us a little bit about your amazing family as well. Love your family. Tell us the journey that got you here today, helping people crush it with these high ticket funnels and high ticket offers.
First of all, Daniel, thanks for inviting me to this amazing podcast. I've never done podcasts with this, so thank you for putting me outside of my own element because I'm not always like this. I love to have fun, but this is phenomenal. Thank you. I appreciate that. So let me begin by saying, I grew up in India. Based on my face, you can probably figure that out. This guy probably grew up in India. Just kidding. I grew up in India, and my dad was entrepreneur. My mom was homemaker, and that really started the seed of being an entrepreneur. I came to this country, did my master's at Carnegie Mellon Computer Science, Electrical Engineering, and Business School. And then I had corporate stint. I used to work at Bell Communication Research Lab as a research scientist and Ford Motor Company.
Oh, wow.
So
wait. How old were you when you moved to the United States?
I was 22.
Oh, wow.
So I did my undergrad there, and then I came here to do my master's. And, Carnegie Mellon is one of the most prestigious university, right? So I was very excited to be here, and
now I'm starting to understand why your son's so much a genius, because like father, like son, and mom as well. You guys are really, really smart people.
Well, I would say regarding my son is all up to him, not up to us. So we just have provided environment. He has to work at it, right? So Yeah, so looking back, after after I started working, I sort of had this my there was a fire burning, not the fire, I would say little flame burning within me to start something on my own, right?
Yeah.
It didn't really materialize until I started my second job at Ford Motor Company. And back then in 2003, 2004, real estate was heating up. So that was our first entrepreneurial venture. We started learning from different experts, and then we implemented because we spent all this money. And
Yeah.
as a being an Indian, we like to get our ROI on our investment as fast as possible. So,
Yeah. When the
we
math
started.
maths, right? When the maths.
Math has to be mathing, absolutely. So, so like within the first 6 months, didn't take any action, but after that, within the 18 months, we bought and sold $2.4 million worth of properties, made some money from that, and
Oh.
I was like, oh, this is nice. So
Oh,
then we
wait.
started
Within how many months?
18 months.
Hold up. 18 months. Bought and sold 2.4 million.
Yeah.
Money magnet
Woohoo!
alert! Let's
It was great.
go.
It was
That's
great, man. It
great.
was great feeling.
Congratulations.
Thank you, man. Thank you. And the
Yeah.
funny thing about this, Dan, was right after I graduated, I had 17 job offers. And I negotiated my salary as a master student to close to PhD level. That's
Yeah.
a, six-figure salary, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
So I really enjoyed my first few years into this country. I was like, man, I love this country. People are amazing. You just work hard. I was working 13 hours a day. That was not a problem, right? So if you're willing to work hard, this country gives you opportunities, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
obviously you have to work at it, right? So I was like, yeah, let's go, John. This is awesome. Like you put the work in, you get the rewards, and same thing happened on real estate side as well. And yeah, it was right away. So like I was like, oh, this is so easy, right? And
Yeah.
then we partnered with someone who had 30 years of experience. Essentially, we became their operational and marketing partners. And in the process, we learned marketing. That was our first foray into, I guess, learning marketing from Dan Kennedy. This was back in 2005. We started real estate investment firm, the programs, the mentoring, real estate investment club. We essentially were information marketing company where we would bring people in through traffic. We would then sell them either low ticket or high ticket offers, and then send them to really high ticket, like 30K offers. So
Yeah.
we've been doing this since 2005, the low ticket and high ticket, we're talking about, right? It's first in real estate business. And
So,
the
so
marketing,
we have to ask. We have to ask
yes. Yeah, yeah.
if you were working if you were part of Dan Kennedy's group so much. The question is, did you ever get to go into the basement?
Okay, so let me tell you the story. So if you want to hear this,
Yeah.
so I started with Dan Kennedy's newsletter back in 2005, and then stayed a gold newsletter member probably until 2008. Then started going to their super conference, and then they are really good at, if you go to those conference, and if you decide not to buy, it's impossible. You will buy. They're really good at taking the wallet out of your butt. And I mean, I loved it. I, in fact, bought everything.
There you go.
Because listen, I love a good sales pitch. Okay. And that actually made me a better salesperson for my own business by looking at this, right? So yeah, and then essentially ascended to I think it was a platinum program or the silver program, something. So then the gold, the platinum program, and
There was
then
a
from
platinum
there,
plus. I know there was a platinum plus as
yeah,
well.
plat plus, and then from there, he had this event where it was a seven-figure event, which was essentially how to build a seven-figure business.
Yeah.
And so I go to that event. It was in Columbus, small, like 100 people, right? And one of the things he did was invite everybody. He literally took everyone you had to donate the money. You had to, like $500 or $1,000 donation for his, horse charity. So
Oh, there
everyone
you go.
who
Yeah.
donated, yeah, on donated money,
I've
he
heard about that
literally took
offer.
all of us to the race course, and then he showed us
Nice.
his, how he, yeah, it was phenomenal. So I've never been to his basement, but that's the closest I got to his, like real life and on a personal level.
Nice.
Absolutely, that was, yeah. Dan Kennedy has literally changed my life for sure, for
Oh
sure.
yeah. The
And
reason why
then what we
the reason
did,
why I was asking is because
yeah,
I've
go
listened
ahead.
to so many Dan Kennedy courses myself that and taken so much and consumed so much of his content. He shares these examples of people that he's worked with high ticket offers and all these different niches. He's helped the chiropractors, the window cleaners, the carpet cleaners, and like all these different niches that he's worked with. And I know he's helped a lot of people with real estate as well. So I was wondering if like one of those case studies that he's sharing in one of these courses was actually with somehow involved with what you guys were building. And it could have been, and it could have not have been. I have no idea, but it doesn't matter because you learn from the man himself, Mister Master Marketer of high ticket sales. Like if you're gonna learn from anybody other than Janak how to really crack the code to this, Dan Kennedy is one of the people that's really going to help you. And me specifically, from the mindset side and the value creation side, Dan Kennedy has done wonders.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I would definitely owe a lot of my beginning of my understanding about marketing, direct response marketing to him. And we literally used the strategy in our real estate investment business and we crushed our competition in the local market because they did not market. We marketed. That was the only differentiation. It was not a very
There you
smart thing
go.
to do other than, running marketing. We were running Google Ads back in 2005. We were
Ooh,
we
that's the
had
golden age.
funnel landing page, not a funnel landing
Yeah.
page, squeeze page, right? So we had used all the elements of a normal marketing person would do, right? So that's what we did. And thus, to our surprise, when we hosted those, we used to have this third Thursday every month. We would have this big meeting, real estate investment club meeting, and we would have, not every month, but different months, we would have this national speakers who would, like Ron LeGrand's of the world, they would come in and they would essentially teach for 90 minutes. In that, they would pitch their program, the home study course, for let's say $1,000, $2,000, and we would split the revenue from that. So that was a model, right?
Yeah.
So for them to make good money, it was our job to fill the seats, right? And
Yeah.
we just simply marketed. We had the PR, online PR and SEO and paid ads, and we ran everything.
Nice.
And the rooms were typically filled, 400 people,
Oh
300
my
people,
gosh.
right? And
Congratulations.
and when they came, they were all like, "How are you doing this in Michigan? What
Yeah.
are you doing?" And it's like, "Well, we just market."
Which
And
city
then
in Michigan? Grand
Livonia,
Rapids?
Michigan. No, not on the west side, the east side, Metro
Okay.
Detroit.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
there was a town called Livonia, which is on the west side of Detroit in Wayne County. That's where we were hosting meetings,
Yeah.
and they were so surprised by like amount of people we had,
Yeah.
and they started asking us, "Hey, can you do this for us?" And we were like, "No, no, no, no. We can, we only focus on our own business, right?" So it didn't really like the light bulb moment didn't happen. I would say probably another 6, 7, 8 months. And then I was like, wait a second, the people are asking us. That means that there is a need for it. That means we can probably serve them.
Yeah.
Because I never thought, I was still working for Ford Motor Company. So we never thought from that
Oh.
angle. So in 2007, my very first internet marketing mentor, there's a marketing mentor, Dan Kennedy, there's an internet marketing mentor, Matt Basak.
Matt Basak.
Uh,
Yep.
yeah, Matt, man, dude, amazing dude. I
Yeah.
still owe him. Every time I see him, it's like, dude, you have, you are single-handedly responsible for me quitting my job. I was still working at Ford Motor Company, and then I attended his Millionaire Internet Training MIT. He called it
Oh,
MIT. The reason why I signed up it was for
MIT.
MIT because I couldn't go to MIT. I was at Carnegie Mellon, right? So
Yeah.
instead of number one, so it was number four.
Yeah,
So I was
man.
like, I want to go to MIT, man. So that's how he sold me on that. And And then so I told him that, his article marketing concept we have implemented, and then we have turned it into PR marketing concept. So we
Yeah.
take the articles and turn into PR. And then he was so blown away by that. He literally gave us a stage for 15 minutes. And then I shared what we do. And he said, Janak, do you know you need to start an agency? I was like,
Yeah.
no, dude. I just no.
Well, and then
And
everybody
he said,
probably after was like,
yeah, he
"Oh,
said, he
please."
said, he said, I know that's exactly what happened. He said, here is $2,000. I'm your first client. You are doing this for me. And I was like, okay, okay, Matt. And then from there, he literally did back then instant teleseminar. We are doing podcasts right now. There was instant teleseminar back days in 2000 freaking 7, right?
Instant
And
teleseminar.
instant teleseminar. So we was a teleseminar. It's not. It was just a phone call, right?
That's crazy.
In a flip phone.
Yeah.
Actually, I had to use my landline phone, by the way. So this is like beyond the dinosaur years, right? This is like early ages, right?
Yeah.
And then from that event, we had 45 clients. He said to create an offer. We
My.
created an offer, service offer, and then we got 45 clients. I was like, shit, I need to quit my job. I can't serve these clients
That's
now.
That was amazing. Now I gotta ask because
Yeah.
I remember the Matt Basak story of when like he got raided by like the federal agents and everything. You remember that story? And I'm
That
like,
was, yeah.
yeah, I'm
That was
like,
after 2014, 2015. Yes.
yeah, I'm like, is this a real story? Like, is this embellished? Like, what's going like this? Because basically the story was he's making all this money, and
Yeah.
like people are like FTC or whatever. They're like he can't be like legitimately making all this money, but it was legitimate.
Hmm.
And then they're like raiding his home and everything. Like, do you know like how true was that story?
So don't know about the raiding the home, but yes, he was in trouble with the authorities for sure for a second. But I know Matt in his heart, right? And
Yeah,
yeah, I mean he's a marketer, right? So just like what Anik Singhal had gone through last year, and I know that intimately well with Anik because Anik has been, in fact, Anik Singhal's career was launched, speaking career was launched at my event back in 2007 when we started doing internet marketing made easy events, right? It was a big seminar copycat, respect to, uh, um, what's his name?
yeah.
This is embarrassing moment. No, the respect to
The big seminar. Was it
Armand Morin and Matt,
yeah,
yeah, and
Armand
Alex
Armand.
Mandosian.
Yeah,
Alex Mandosian. Yeah.
there you go.
So, anyways, both of them, their model was 1,000 people each pay $1,000, and then 12 speakers over 3 days. Each day, four speakers, 90 minutes, and they would pitch. And then the pitching is generally is $2,000. Armand gets $1,000. Speaker gets $1,000. Exact same model we did. We started going to those big seminars. We started inviting those speakers, right, for our own event. Instead of 1,000 people, we had 400 people, 300 people, right? And
Yeah,
then we made, $500,000. So that was the model, man. That was the model. So we were doing this as a company who provides training, provides courses, somebody else's courses, right? Affiliate marketing model, all of that. But then at the core of this, we were providing. We started our agency in 2007 and started doing services. So we started doing SEO, website design
yeah.
development. Then paid social media, organic social media just started coming along, paid advertising. And then in 2014, I read a book called Built to Sell. That book
Nice.
was, there are a few pivotal books in my life. One of them was Think and Grow Rich. Second one was Cash Flow Quadrant that allowed me to start my real estate. And then
Built to
um,
sell.
Build to Sell. Thank you. So the Build to Sell was the pivotal book for me to really streamline everything I did. So we literally stopped everything, whether it's SEO, website design development, mobile application development, and then we just essentially decided to focus on one thing. And one thing what we are really good at is paid ads, and within that, one platform, Facebook. And then we started building the SOP, started building the in-house team, and then that grew very, very quickly. Again, the timing was right. To be fair, timing was right.
Yeah.
And then 2018, we started adding back Google, YouTube, and then other additional channels, whether it's Snapchat or then later on TikTok or Pinterest or Twitter or LinkedIn, Outbrain, Taboola, right? And then
Yeah.
We started building in-house expertise for the marketing
What kind of
side.
ads were you running with Outbrain and Taboola for companies?
So essentially, if you have the content, like, so no, those are content syndication platforms, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
if you have content like a blog on your site or articles, we
Yeah.
essentially put that onto those Outbrain and Taboola, and then drive traffic that page, and then everything on that page essentially is linked to your offers, or linked to your
Yeah.
opt-in, or linked to, like, low ticket offers, right?
Native ads, if you've ever heard of native ads.
Exactly, native
Yeah.
ads, absolutely,
But nobody knows
absolutely.
what that means. The way I explain it is it's it's the articles, the suggested articles that look like they're actual articles at the bottom of the
Yep.
blogs and the news pages, but they're actually ads.
Yep. And it would say around the web or around the world, right? And then,
Yeah.
you will see those snippets, and then those are snippets
Yeah.
for your pages, right? Exactly. And yeah, so we then added the marketing side. The marketing department started building the in-house expertise, copywriters, designers, marketing strategists. And then in last 3 years, we have added the sales recruitment arm as well. So it's like advertising, marketing, and sales. And who we serve is D2C brands, e-commerce brands, mainly on Shopify platform, and then also what we call the experts, which are, your
Yeah.
uh, consultant, coaches, authors, speakers, right? People who have information products. They may have mastermind, they may have live events, they may have group coaching program, high ticket programs, right? So those are the two cohorts we serve. And then two of our clients have gone public in the last 3 years, and we are profit sharing and equity. So one of the things we have started doing is, thank you, man. Yeah. One of the things we started doing is like partnering with the brands and helping them, launch and then scale them. That's what we do. So that's a story from where we started to now, man. It's
That
been
was
amazing.
for me because I'm almost as much of a dinosaur as you. So for me, hearing all those stories, that was like so exciting. And so like because I was like I basically got started online in like 2007, and so
Yep.
like but you were just like a few years earlier than that. It was just such an exciting time. And now in 2025, everybody like for everybody that's like, oh, the internet, like I got to do stuff on the internet. It's like, well, yeah, but like today in 2025, everybody and their dog is trying to do something on the internet, and including your dog that has a social media account is trying to do something on the internet. And
Yep.
it was like back in the day when it was like brand new, it was like really like the wild west. Is such an
It was.
exciting time.
Mhm.
So with that being said, Janik, what's the knowing that everybody and their dog knows that there's all this money making opportunity on the internet,
Mhm.
what do we have to do differently in 2025 compared to 2005?
Great question. So let me take you back a bit. When we started the world of internet marketing, online marketing, literally no matter what your offer was, whether it's a book, ebook, course, you just literally create one ad on Google, and then you launch a campaign,
Yeah.
and that ad essentially will get you clicks because they're looking for the solution to the problem. They land on your page, and because there's not a whole lot of competition, they will buy. You didn't
Yeah.
have to be good at conversion rate optimization. You didn't have to have a site that load faster. You had, like, it was so easy in the beginning days to make money. And the same is true now as well. Now we have freaking click funnels of the world. We just reconnected there last month.
Yeah.
A GHL of the world. Like, there are all the platforms. Now AI is coming along, right?
Yep.
So launching or doing something online has become so much more easier, and hence the competition is very high
Yeah.
because of that, right? As you
Exactly.
rightfully said, that what do we do? Now, few things you can do. I can go into and talk about, what do you do? How, Jay Abraham talks about the strategy of preeminence. How can you create a position in the marketplace which essentially differentiates you from the rest of the crowd? One of the ways to do that is by creating a very, very high ticket offer, right?
Okay.
You can have a high ticket offer for, let's say, $100,000, and nobody in your marketplace is offering that. All of a sudden, somebody who has a 100K offer, that means that, for example, um, who's Russell's closer on from the stage? I always forget his name. The black dude.
Uh, oh, Myron
Uh,
Golden. Myron Golden.
Myron Golden. Amazing amount of dude, amazing guy, huge respect. That man has $350,000 offer.
That's
Okay.
right. The
Russell doesn't have that offer.
$350,000 offer, right?
Yes, Russell doesn't have that offer. Think about that. If you look at his positioning, somebody who just by the virtue of having an offer, it puts you in a completely different stratosphere. Now, if somebody has a $350,000 offer, if you know about it, uh, would you not buy his 50K, 100K, heck, 10K
Yeah.
offer? Like it's so easy to. So strategy of preeminence, like putting yourself in such a different orbit that people will aspire to, be able to, to buy
Yeah.
stuff, buy from you. So that's one way to do it.
Yeah.
Obviously, there are multiple
So,
ways, you
so
can
hold
do it.
up, hold up. So
Yeah.
just that was big. That was huge. You're telling me, Janak, one of the biggest secrets to high ticket offers is simply having a high ticket offer that's levels above everybody else. Mind blown. Mind
Yep.
blown. Like
Yep.
operating in a different sphere, like literally a different planet than everybody else. Just having that, just being able to create that, that is a massive differentiator. I've never heard somebody explain it so clearly. Just having a super high ticket offer is in and of itself a differentiator, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just a price differentiation, right? I learned that from Jay Abraham. I learned that from Dan Kennedy. The reason I'm speaking about Jay recently is because Jay and I, so by the way, good news, Jay is a client. We have
Jay
just brought him
Abraham's a
to
client.
Jay Abraham is a client,
Let's
yes.
go.
So we just brought
That
him
deserves
to,
extra hand clap.
oh, thank you.
Boom.
Thank you. Thank
There
you.
you go. Janak Mehta closed Jay Abraham. Let's go.
So Jay wanted to speak in India, right? And we brought him to an event I spoke at, which is not shown here. There's a I got an award from there.
Yeah.
But I spoke at an event in India, the largest marketing event in India, and so I brought Jay there. And then on the back of that, we done the masterclass, and then from the masterclass, now we are selling the mastermind. Same thing we do for since 2005, right? Like there's no new news, right?
Yep. Yep.
But Jay, if you since I've been talking to Jay, a few times now, and every time he talks about, he hates the word coach. He actually hates the word coach because coach makes you, put yourself, your value at the same level as other coaches, you know.
Mm.
So he considered himself as like the person who brought 21.7 billion revenue for his clients,
Whoa.
right?
Yeah.
And
So what
that's where,
does he name him when it comes to messaging? What
yeah,
does he call himself? How does he position himself instead of calling himself
world's number one marketing consultant.
there you I love it. I love it.
Yeah, yeah.
There we
And
go.
is not a coach. Is a marketing strategist, right?
Yeah.
Someone who actually has proven value. And he has testimonials from Ryan Dice, Frank Kern,
Yeah.
the Fubu guy. What's his name? I keep forgetting his
Damon
name.
Damon John.
Damon John, right?
Yeah.
Like all road leads to J. Abraham, just like all road leads to Dan Kennedy. It's amazing
Let's
positioning he already
go.
has, right? And he has proven, revenue, and he helps his clients, essentially getting through different breakthroughs, right? So so the point is, one of the ways you can differentiate is by having a high ticket offer and then have a high price, really high price offer. That's one of the things you can do.
Okay.
Other things you can do is obviously have case studies, have proven testimonials. Again, in
Yep.
Jay's case, is like testimonials after testimonials after testimonials. So it's easy to sell Jay, right?
Yeah.
And he obviously he's 77 years old and he has 40 plus years of career. like I think anyone can sell him. It's not there is something unique about, but it's those people at that level, they don't trust everyone. So to
Yeah.
being able to like work with people at that level, requires certain skills and trust building abilities, right? So yeah, that's a key.
All right. So
So
to
yeah,
recap
yeah,
these three really fast. So we've got price positioning, differentiating something. Like I've got something so expensive that's a differentiator. Just my price is a differentiator. Actual case studies, clients from around the world, like social proof. That's a
yep.
huge differentiator. That's a must in 2025. And then unique market positioning. If everyone's calling themselves a coach, in no way should you be calling yourself a coach. Maybe instead you are the number one consultant in the world for insert sexy thing
Or
here.
strategist or the
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
someone
that's
who's transforming
amazing.
businesses.
So are you guys getting this? These tips are gold. Like y'all seeing this? Things are about to get crazy. Let's go. Now, before we jump into the next tip, so I love those first three, Janak. But before we jump into the next ones,
Yeah.
we failed to recognize our party gear for today. That's part of what we have to explain. You chose our party gear for the day. There's a reason for these light up wristbands, right? You want to quickly share that story?
Sure. So in my family, we love Coldplay as a band. And Coldplay was going to be coming to Phoenix. And the time they were going to come to Phoenix, we were already been out of country. So when we came back from our trip to India, we found out where else is it going. And
Yeah.
then he had a show in Chicago. And literally, my wife, myself, both our kids, we all flew in to see Coldplay
Let's
for a
go.
weekend. We are that crazy about Coldplay. Now, this was my daughter. She was 7 years old, and this was her first concert. And it was loud for her,
Oh
obviously,
yeah.
right? So for throughout the concert, she had kind of this, right, because it was too loud.
Yeah.
But then the Paradise song, she started dancing, and I was like, "Thank goodness, thank for playing that song." And then after that, she was like in it, and it was so much fun. It was so fun to see. Imagine, I don't know, Dan, when did you have your first concert? My first concert was not when I was 7 years old. It
Oh
was
no, not
definitely,
at all.
it was
Not at
definitely
all.
in the college, right? So,
Yeah, it was in
oh my
college for me.
goodness. Ah, wow, what a blessings, right, for these kids. But yeah, we love Coldplay, and that's so Coldplay has the different imagery they use, but it's all about the lights, and it's all about and even at the it was a big stadium. Even
Yeah.
at the stadium, everybody got this. It was like
Yeah.
LED lights,
Part of the
and we
party
said, hey,
game.
let's recreate that fun.
There you go.
Yeah,
100%.
that's why we have this.
You know
Absolutely,
what I
man.
you know what I regret? So I don't know if you know this, but one of your favorite songs and one of my favorite songs too is Sky Full of Stars, right?
Absolutely.
Did you know that Avicii helped produce that song?
Oh
A
wow,
Avicii
really,
helped, yeah.
Avicii?
And that's why, like, if you listen to Sky Full of Stars and then recognize that Avicii helped produce it, then you're like, oh, I see it now. Like, this is huge. And so one of my biggest regrets as an adult is that I never went to see Avicii
Oh,
before he
I have not either.
yeah, before he passed away. So like
Yeah,
I'm like, man, I wish I would have gone to an Avicii concert. So one day maybe I'll go to they occasionally do like Avicii tribute concerts and
right.
stuff cuz his music's still like so iconic, right? But when I recognized that, it gave me an additional appreciation for all of the Coldplay music as well. And if I could now on the marketing podcast party, we were talking about this pre-show. I wish I could just like be like, all right, we're gonna play some Coldplay, we're gonna play some Avicii, we're gonna play some
Yeah.
other EDM music. but I can't. Or like the YouTube videos will like not like be shown, right? So we use the royalty free music. But when I'm picking out my royalty free music, I use artlist.io. I'm going on and I'm trying to find the most Coldplay like, Avicii like stuff so that we can like party and make it more enjoyable. So anyway, whoever owns the rights out there, and if they want to give me the rights to use the Avicii music and other really cool EDM music and some Coldplay, I'd love the rights to be able to just share that music on the podcast. That
Now,
would be
now,
amazing.
now, Dan, I wonder, there is this music AI app where you can essentially ask it to create the music, right? And then it actually
Oh,
creates the song. So this is what happened. So you know Jason Fladlin. I don't know if you know Jason Fladlin. He's like
I've
a
heard
webinar
that
guru.
name. I've heard
Yeah,
that
he's like
name.
a webinar guru. He's sold the most at the webinar, like 50-60 million dollars. Okay,
That's
in one of
all.
the yeah, it's a small amount. Yeah, uh, and so he's a brilliant guy. I had opportunity to spend 1 year with him in a mastermind,
Yeah.
and so he posted like few sentences of like imagine that's like a beginning of the song, right? It was like he was just ranting.
Yeah.
So I literally took that and then went to GPT and then I said, listen, can you continue the song and can you create a song from this? So I posted, hey, here's the rest of the here's the rest of the post. He loved it. He loved it. And then another friend of mine, Brett Costanzo, we actually going to launch the AI product with them.
Nice.
So Brad literally took that and put it in this music app, and he literally created the whole song with the music. And it's like it's not just lyrics. It has a music, it has sound, so it was like a full blown song.
Let's go. So what you're saying
So
is we're
exactly,
we're gonna start producing our own music. Janak,
that's what I'm saying.
Daniel, we're gonna create our own electronic dance music
EDM,
specific
man, let's
based
go.
off of the marketing tips being shared. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna songify your best tips from today's episode.
let's do it, man.
Let's do
Man, I've
it.
never done it. That would be awesome.
That
That would
would
be
be crazy. All
that would
right.
be awesome.
All right. You're gonna have to send me some links over to how to possibly play with that. Because
Yeah,
I am currently using it's called like pixels, but it's like spelled interesting in order for my thumbnails. And it's a whole process that I go through. And it's not the easiest thing in the world, but the end result for
yeah,
my thumbnails, for my YouTube videos, using AI as an assistant, that's how I've been using it as an assistant to create the gold. It's been working really well. So
absolutely. No, I absolutely love AI. I know there's a lot of scares right now, but
yeah.
AI is here to stay, and just like internet and social media.
I think the people that like really understand the limitations and really understand marketing like you and I think the reason why we're not necessarily scared is because we realize that anybody that goes to an AI tool that isn't providing it with the right initial prompts is what spit back out to them is very mediocre. It's more of
Hmm.
the same. And you and I, we're marketers that understand. Like the first three tips were all about differentiation. If you're going to make it in 2025 with your high ticket offers, you need multiple layers of differentiation. And when it comes to the AI tools out there, um, AI can help us find angles of differentiation that nobody else is using, but we still have to understand and use a lot of strategy in order to get the right outputs, if that makes
Hmm.
sense.
Absolutely,
And
man.
without the right understanding, you can get spit back a lot of mediocreness, and mediocre does not break through the noise in 2025.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that's, at least for me, that's why I'm not afraid, because I know we can still use AI to assist and still find gold and differentiate. Um,
Absolutely, man.
so for the topic for today specifically, we promised high ticket offers, the secrets to that, and then also the secrets to the video sales letter funnels. You shared three big tips so far. We've recapped those. What other tips do you have for us, Janak, about the video sales letter funnels? and also for the high ticket offers.
Absolutely, yeah. So let's talk about the VSL. So VSL is just another way for another way for someone who does not know you yet, all the way to them buying something from you. A funnel is just that, right? Whether it's VSL, whether it's a webinar, whether it's a challenge funnel, free plus shipping book funnel, essentially that's what the funnel does. It takes people at the top, prospect, and then boils them down to them becoming a customer or a client. Okay. Now, let's talk about the structure of a VSL funnel, right? It's
Okay.
very simple. You have to kind of imagine this. I'm going to do the best job of describing that, right? Like that's the funnel,
Well,
but then
most of the listeners understand top of funnel, middle funnel, and then down.
exactly. So
So,
imagine that there is, now you're looking at horizontally, right? On the left hand side, you
okay.
are looking at the opt-in page, and then the next after that page is the VSL,
Mm-hmm.
the video sales letter page, where there's a video and then potentially some copy at the bottom or no copy, just a VSL.
Yeah.
And then the third page after that is they are from the VSL. The call to action generally is to apply. So there's a
Application. Yeah.
form application, like maybe 8 question, maybe 13 question, 14 questions, and
Okay.
then after that they go and book a call. So the last stage is the calendar,
Yeah.
and then there's a thank you page after the calendar. So that's the structure of a simple VSL funnel.
Okay.
Now,
So,
so
so
let's yeah.
squeeze page that then takes me to the VSL, and then that
Mm-hmm.
takes me to the application, and then that
Mm-hmm.
takes me to the book a call page, usually like a Calendly page, and then the thank you page.
Yep.
Um, and then on the thank you page, is there an additional pitch or is there more that goes from there? Or is it just kind of like, oh, thank you, we'll get in touch with you?
Great question. If it's a high ticket, then
Mhm.
essentially what we do, because ours is generally, application to call funnel. So for those, we essentially give them videos to watch, case studies to consume. So,
Content.
get ready
Yeah,
before the call, right? And there's a welcome email, to make sure that they show up on the call as well.
gotcha. Okay.
But that's essentially what happens.
Indoctrination sequence
Indoctrination sequence, yes,
is what
exactly. For
starts
this is
on the
just
thank you
to
page,
for them to show up on the call,
on the
right?
call. Yep.
So that's the structure. Now let's talk about what does a high ticket offer look like. So if I let me see, should I share something or should I just go through? Yeah,
Yeah,
let me just explain this.
let's explain it visually. Let's audibly explain it
Oh,
for
audibly
our
explain, not visually. Sorry. Okay.
yeah, yeah. I said that weird.
Okay, got it, got it. No, that's fine. That's fine. So a typical high ticket offer we see for our clients is, they have some sort of, timed coaching program, whether it's 1 year, 6 months, 4 months, 3 months, maybe 8 weeks, right? 2 weeks, whatever.
Mhm.
There's some sort of timed program, right? So what are the components that we see work very, very well is number one is they have to have something where they can, essentially it's a self-paced course, right?
Okay.
It could be
Yeah.
online portal. It could be providing, any sort of learning, but on their own time. It could
Yeah.
be your pillar content, right? So some sort of self-paced course. So
Yeah.
that's component number one. Then component number two is going to be, the group calls to address any questions they have and provide support,
Right.
right? So it could be weekly coaching. Now you can decide whether you want to do this on your own or you may have a coach who can do this for you.
Right.
Okay. Then the third step would be some sort of what we call the VIP concierge. And it essentially is like a customer service, right? But we call it VIP concierge,
There you
so they can.
go. There you go.
That's again positioning. Yep, yep.
Positioning. Yeah.
And then
Differentiation. Everybody calls it
and
customer service.
then yeah, everybody calls it customer service, but it doesn't have to be customer service if you think about it, right?
Yeah.
Simple positioning, right? Then you want to have some sort of secret sauce. It could be like a blueprint. You have it like like a GHL software, for an example. A
Yeah.
unique software or a process. It gives you a competitive advantage, and also it also allows your uh, customers or the clients to get started faster. Imagine that you are selling, um, funnel building program. Okay.
Right. Okay.
But what if you can give them five different funnels in their own account,
Yeah.
right? So like some secret sauce, something which they can get get to speed, get to implementation faster, right? So having a secret sauce that's going to be
Speed to
uniquely differentiating.
success.
Yeah,
Yeah.
speed to success, is uniquely differentiating factor as well.
If it's
Then
not
in
if it's
addition
not a
to,
if it's not a SaaS or SaaS enabled, should it be a service? For example,
it could be a quick service, and I'll actually, for there are other options which I'm going to share with you. But if you don't have that, then you should definitely do what we call the 30-day challenge for X in 30. Yeah, we'll talk about that, right?
okay, okay,
But then the fourth component needs to be some sort of personalized feedback, right?
nice.
So we call it course corrections, right? This is essentially fulfilled by the coaches. So this can be, you may have one-on-one with a coach. It could
Yeah,
be accountability coach, okay, and they
yeah,
give them personalized feedback.
yeah,
Then if the price points are, let's say, 12, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40, 50K and beyond, you can actually do what we would call workshops. Those workshops could be 3 or 4 times a year, right?
in
And those are
person.
generally in person
Nice.
workshop. Now we can technically do online as well. My
Yeah,
preference is that if you're charging someone 25, 40K, I think having just
yeah.
like a mastermind kind of feel, right?
Agreed.
That
Agreed.
would be very, very helpful, right? So the 4 times,
Yeah.
maybe 3 or 4 times, and then one event could be like a fun event where all of
Yeah,
you guys gonna
like when we
cool.
got invited to the 2CX Platinum
Yes,
example.
yes,
I think
absolutely,
which
right?
I believe I don't think that was the first time you and I met, but it might have been one of the first times we met.
Maybe that's the first time we spent a little bit more time. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that event was really pivotal for a lot of the people in the 2C6 programs back then, right? So,
Yeah.
those events, what it does is brings people together, right?
Yep.
And then start building the core of the community, and so that their retention increases, right? So that's a key.
Yep.
Then we also recommend our client offer this 30-day challenge, or like first result, like first client in next 30 days, or first property in 30 days. You
Yeah.
know, like it's a simple step-by-step roadmap to get the meaningful result in a short amount of time,
So
essentially.
instead of a front end challenge, it's a challenge only for the high ticket pay people that pay the
That
high.
is correct. Now, the front end challenge could be different challenge, but then this, we call it a 30-day challenge, but essentially the idea is that you want to get them fast track result. Like
Yeah.
if you can hook them on by getting them results, like in the first 30 days of them being part of your in the program, like quick wins,
Yeah.
uh, they will be more engaged in the program. Number one. Number two, they would also, stay longer as well. So if
Yeah.
you're worried about retention, if your retention is a question, or rebooking, that means that if it's a year-long program and then people are dropping after 1 year versus staying on for another year,
Yeah.
that can be fixed by this as well. We also suggest our client offer three Pathfinder call. The first is you need to offer
Three what call?
what we call it Pathfinder call. Like
Pathfinder
a
call. Okay.
Pathfinder, yeah. So essentially, the first one is like offer them group coaching, right? Group onboarding, not the coaching, rather group onboarding.
Okay.
So once imagine that this is a rolling enrollment, and anyone can start anytime. So imagine that they watch the ad, opted in, watched the VSL, book a call,
Hmm.
and then their sales team made an offer, and then they bought it. Now
Yep.
this is the day one, right? So then they would see welcome email with all these different things, but then they will also see that we have this onboarding call happening, such and such date, generally once a week or every 2 weeks, depending on the scale at which you're running the campaigns. If you're getting a lot of new people every single day, then you may want to do weekly.
Yeah.
But if it's less volume, then maybe you can do every 10 days or every 2 weeks, right? So group onboarding, so getting new people together in a group format, right? And then literally after 30 days, you do one momentum call, right? Momentum call being like, okay, how are things going? Have you implemented, what we talked about in the first X in 30 days, right? Are you struggling? So like, give them momentum. Okay. These are the call that can be done. You are doing, you as a founder, who's doing it. Now, can this be done by a coach? Yes. But I think it would be more impactful if you, the creator, is showing up,
Creator,
in
yeah.
a group, group onboarding and one, like momentum call, and then also one like what we call SOS or one-on-one call. Like if they are really stuck in the process, let's
Yeah.
say it's in the 6 months and they're really stuck at like month 3 or 4, they can jump on a call with you. In fact, most of the people at the high ticket do not take this up, do not.
Right.
But you should have it regardless.
Yeah,
And then
because
finally,
there's
yeah,
so many ways to success, paths to success that most people don't need it.
exactly. And
But
finally,
it's part of the value stack because
yep,
you can be like that, the SOS call, that's a $5,000 value, right?
yep,
So
absolutely. And then
perfect.
finally, what you want to do is you want to have, like a community. It could be Facebook, it could be school, like the platform doesn't matter, but place where people get together, essentially. So when you have this 8, 9 different components,
Yeah.
this makes the best. In our opinion, this makes the best offer, generally speaking. And when you have all of this component, it's very easy to sort of address, like this is always encompassing, all of their fears against, the time or the money, or
Yeah.
like, you are essentially solving all of that, right? So that's the that's the thing you want to keep in mind. Absolutely.
Love it.
Yep.
Now, when are these 8 or 9 components of the high ticket offer generally presented? Is that presented inside of the video sales letter, or is that presented on the sales call?
No, these are the presented on the sales call. We typically don't talk about the offer in the video. Now, you can, we don't, because the video is strictly designed to, overcome, their belief system. And
Nice.
we'll get into that. Okay. But
This
here
is
are,
by the way, this is a recurring theme because I just interviewed Kevin Barber and we
uh-huh.
were talking about attracting our dream customers by selling the beliefs,
Yep,
not by putting the program front and center. It's sell the beliefs first, attract your dream customers, sell the right beliefs, and then present the offer.
absolutely. Absolutely. Um, One of the things I want to mention in the offer itself is you have to like okay. So people get stuck at objections.
Mhm.
People believe that, oh man, people have objections. That's a bad thing. That's actually a good thing. Basically, what I believe is if they have objection, that means they're paying attention, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so objection is a natural part of the sales. That's what I believe. And there are mainly three things, top three concerns everyone has, whether they're buying your 5K offer, 50K offer, 100K, doesn't matter what the price points are. They're always thinking from the standpoint of how can this offer reduce my risk of money? Or you have to think about how can you reduce the risk of the money for them? What can you do? Any sort of risk reversal, any sort of guarantee, any sort of, like to make it easy for them, or maybe it's not their money, maybe it's a third party financing. Okay.
Right.
So that's one. Second thing is the risk of time. Basically, everybody is going to ask the question, listen, I'm going to join your 6 months program. That's a lot of time.
Yeah.
And how can I make sure that the 6 months are going to be productive for me? They have a concern for that. So you have to overcome that in your in your offer,
Yep.
in your sales pitch, right? Listen, it's going to be very easy for you to do. It's going to be, we have all this help along
Five
the way.
minute millionaire. 5 minute millionaire.
No, easy in the sense like, we actually have proven roadmap.
Yeah.
We do the fast track, fast starts. We give you all this, calls. There is a group coaching call. There is one-on-one call. Like we provide, and then there's a community. So
Yeah.
like you can overcome that risk of time by, telling them that it's not we got you. Okay.
Yeah.
And then finally, the third one is the risk of emotion. Like, am I going to look
Oh,
dumb by investing in this program? Am I going to look like, I know my wife hates me for, buying all these products and services, but nothing comes out of that. Is this going to be one of those? So there's that, emotion, right?
yeah.
The only way to overcome that is by essentially building the trust beforehand, and then also always show them results, right? Because they are saying that I'm doing what you're telling me to do, but I'm scared, right? So you need to remove that fear, from them, right?
Yeah.
So
I gotta say, like, wow, 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 Dominic, that was gold. Okay, so we got three things that we got to overcome in that high ticket sales situation. We've got one, the fear of losing the money. We got to overcome that. Two, we got the fear of losing out on time, the time
yep.
commitment. And three, which I've never really heard people say, the risk of emotion. Explain that one more time, overcoming the emotional baggage of making the purchase.
Yeah, essentially what they're worried about is, they're essentially telling us that I'm taking the leap of faith, I'm doing what you're telling me to do, right? But I'm scared. And
Yeah.
you have to overcome that. You have to overcome, they need to remove that fear from their heart. And the way you do that is by essentially showing them results after results after results
Case
after results
studies
after results and case studies and testimonials. And
and social proof
more importantly, building the trust.
and patting their head. It's
Yes,
it's
building the
gonna be
trust is a
okay.
key thing. Yeah. So the because right now I don't know, Dan, what you see, but we have experienced that with a lot of our clients where I'll give an example. Like since last year was very weird towards the I would say end of Q3 and Q4, beginning of Q4. All of a sudden, clients who have money, they have the problem. They
Hmm.
know we can solve the problem for them, and they wanted to solve the problem. Even after all of that was present, they were just scared for
Yeah.
whatever reason. There were uncertainty, there was, election, whatever,
Oh
whatever the
yeah.
external
Q4,
factors were.
I think lots of businesses saw that with because it's the uncertainty principle, right? The unsure mind, the answer is no. Like
Yeah,
if
exactly.
I'm uncertain what's going to happen, the answer is no. Like
Yeah,
you need to have certainty. It's one of the things affecting the economy at the moment with tariffs is it's
that's
actually
another
just
answer.
it's just the uncertainty principle. The tariffs may be good, they may be really bad. I don't know. I'm not an economist, but people are uncertain, and uncertainty is what stops people from buying.
There was a news last month or maybe in January about the real estate market is about to be upside down or going down because there's a lot more inventory. But if you really know the data, we are barely now getting back to 2019 levels, barely,
Yeah.
right? At least where I live in Scottsdale. So we are still ahead. Like there is still a lot more buyers than the seller.
Yeah.
So having a balanced real estate market is actually not a bad thing. But they read the story and they just create whatever they want to create about the fear about that. Same thing with the stock. Stocks
Yeah.
are going down. Sure, yes, market anticipates in the future, but the problem hasn't occurred yet, right at the time, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, so you may experience that in your own offer as well, and in some cases they legitimately may have lost the job. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not saying that the fear is not real, but for them it's real. So
Yeah.
what do you do by removing that fear? And that's the key thing you need to keep addressing. And then finally, if you don't have the FAQ section in your sales page or somewhere in the email, like you need to have those FAQs preemptively handle all of your objections. So
This
uh,
is the VSL page
this
fact
is the page
or the
after. Remember
offer.
the thank you. Remember the
Yeah.
thank you page,
Hmm.
and then on the thank you page we have all these case studies. And after that, if you send them offer page, typically
Offer
most of my
page.
clients, what they do is they collect
Mm.
money on the call. But you should always have quote unquote sales page with the
Sales page for
FAQ
the
section.
offer
Yes,
with a
yes,
fact. And then
with the
so does the
FAQ.
sales
Yep.
page have a quick video as well that
Mm-hmm.
recaps the offer value
Yep.
stack and then it has the fact? Is that the main?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So there's this secret six element that you haven't been telling us about, Janak. This might be the thing that for your clients. It's like, oh, because like to be honest, with everything I'm doing with Colin DeHaan, we do not have an offer page. We're selling people through. We're getting people booked on the call. We're selling people. And some people ask for additional information, but we're not sending them to an offer page. Boom, mind blown. Why am I missing something? I'm not supposed to have missing holes in my funnel. Thank you, Janik. That was gold right there.
You are welcome. You are welcome. Okay. So now we talked about this on the offer side. Now let's actually go inside and talk about the VSL itself, right?
Yes, I was gonna ask about that
Yeah. So let me
because
give
you basically reverse engineer it, and that now it's back to opt-in page, and then fulfill the promise with the VSL once they opt in, right?
essentially. So the VSL structure, the formula we use is called HIPPER, HIPPER, like we are hip, right? HIPPER,
Okay,
HIPPER, HIPPER.
okay.
So let's break it
Not
down. What
not
does it?
not hyper like hyper uppercut. Not that
Yeah,
that hyper.
no, HIPPER, HIPPER. So HIPPER, the first H stands for hook,
Okay.
essentially, right? Grabbing prospect
Yeah.
attention. I'm going to actually break it down further because that hook, we have a unique way of grabbing that because that's, we have to figure out what is unique about your offer, your service.
Yeah.
And that's the key. Because you know most of the businesses, if they believe that they have a blue ocean offer, they typically don't, right? We have to create the blue ocean positioning, not
Yeah.
the offer itself. The offer could be what the offer is, but the positioning in the marketplace has to be different, right?
Yeah.
And that typically happens within the hook, and we'll actually break down the, I'm going to give you the secret. It's coming up in next
Go.
5-10 minutes.
Let's
Okay.
go.
So the first is hook, grab prospects' attention. The second one is which is issue, right? So you want to
Yeah.
describe the problem better than they can.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a core principle of Dan Kennedy.
Yep.
Like when you can describe your target market's problem better than they can describe, you have
You
win the
win.
trust.
Yep.
Okay. Then the third is poke,
Okay.
agitating the problem. Like describing the problem is one thing, but then actually make them feel the pain of the problem in the in the VSL. Okay,
Yeah.
so we call it poke. We poke it, right?
Yeah.
But then you give them the pill, which is the next P,
Ah,
PIL, pill,
this is
right?
genius. I love this
Yeah,
acronym.
so hook, issue, poke, pill, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And then in the pill, you're introducing the solution. Wait, it's not all bad. I know
Yep.
you're feeling this pain, and then it's I know the cost of it, you feeling the pain, but the good news is that we have the solution.
Yep.
And then you sell your solution by talking about which is the effects of your pill. The effects of the pill, taking the pill, is all the benefits, all the features, all the advantages,
Yeah.
essentially. Okay, and
Not going into an offer stack, but basically describing the vehicle that solves their main problems.
absolutely. And I'm going to actually give you the meta framework on this as well. Okay. And then finally, the R stands for the response, which is, your offer, your guarantee, your scarcity, your call to action. Now, typically, what we do in our VSL to application to call funnel, we are not selling the products or service. We are selling the bookings. We are selling the appointment. We are
Mm-hmm.
selling the reasons why you should show up for this
Right.
meeting.
Right.
Okay. So that's the response. The call to action for us is that's the offer, that's the call to action. So it's HIPPER. Okay. Now, let
Remind me
me
what the
give
E
you,
stands for.
E is for the effects, like
Okay.
the results of the pill.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So
Okay.
the hook, issue, then you poke it, then
Pill.
pill, give the solution, then the effects of the
X
solution,
of the
and then
pill.
response. Okay.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Now, so that's the HIPAA formula, right? Then you build your VSO. Now, what happens before and after this? And that's where I don't know if you have read the book called the 16-word sales letter.
No, I haven't read that one.
Okay.
No.
So my recommendation, everyone on this call or everyone who's watching this podcast, listening to this podcast, get the book. Not my book, by the way. I wish this was my book. It's
There you go.
uh, it's a book by this guy named Evaldo Albuquerque.
Nice.
Evaldo, Evaldo Albuquerque. Unique name, very unique name.
From New Mexico.
From New Mexico. Yeah, I love
I'm
that.
yeah.
He's actually an immigrant, and English is not his first language. And he, in 2.5 years working at Agora, he made them $178 million on
Let's
few
go.
offers. Okay, so there's two things attracted me to him. About his story is, listen, he's obviously a smart copywriter, right?
Mhm.
But more importantly, he was immigrant and English was not his first language,
Yeah.
which are those are true for me as well. English was not my first language.
Yeah.
Obviously, after living here, it's changed, but English was not my first language before coming here, right?
Right.
So his 16-word sales letter, he talks about a concept called one belief, right? And his 16 words are this. By the way, you don't have to buy the book. I'm actually going to break it down, but I think you should buy the book.
The 16 words
The
are.
16 words. The 16 words are: the secret to converting copy is to define one belief, then answer these 10 questions. So that's his 16 word.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
So what is this one belief? How do you define the one belief
Yep.
about your products or service, right? So one belief, he says the one belief is made up of three parts. The part number one is, the first one is what he calls new opportunity. So humans are obviously hardwired to look for novelty. We are always like, lizard brain is looking for either, hey, this is reward or danger, right?
Yeah.
So humans, for ages, we are hardwired for that.
Yep.
So in your offer, you have to come up with what is unique about your offer, right? If you can come up with that, that's going to give you huge differentiation. The very first question you ask, I love that the beginning of the podcast you started with, how do you differentiate yourself? You can differentiate yourself by showing this is a new opportunity. Your offer, your service, your product is a new opportunity, new vehicle, what Russell talks about, right?
Yep.
This is what it is. Okay. Now the second is the prospect's key desire, basically. So the key desire for the prospect is, sorry, I'm moving things around. Give me 1 second.
No, you're good. I will say really fast in Ideas and Influence, I know that you recently grabbed your copy as well. You're gonna
Yes.
absolutely love, I believe it's chapter 5 or chapter 6. Um it's chapter 5. Core beliefs, the secret to leading a movement. I share multiple examples of selling the belief first and having the belief, that one core belief, when
Yep.
your dream customer adopts that belief, as a consequence, they start buying from you.
Absolutely.
That's gold,
Yep.
absolutely gold. If I would have known about the 16 word sales pitch, what
Sales letter.
sales letter,
Yeah.
I could have read that and I could have mentioned that in that chapter beforehand, because it sounds like exactly congruent, 100%. We've seen it multiple times. Sell the belief first, then people buy as a consequence.
Absolutely. So the concept of one belief, that's, this is great. So the first is, as we talked about, the new opportunity, like what's new about this, right? And then the second thing you want to discuss is, you want to share is, what is your prospect's key desire? Like you have to know more than, we talked about this in the poke, right?
Yeah.
Right. And on what the issue is, right? Issue and poke, both of them actually kind of combines this, which is prospect's key desire. What's the one thing they really, really, really want from you and your products and services, right? You have to know that at the deeper level. What's the problem underneath the problem, right? You need to know that. And then finally, when
It's
you
like
are
it's like the real root of the problem. Like,
exactly,
problem
exactly.
isn't the problem.
Yep.
Dan Kennedy talks about this all the time when you're going deep. Most people think the problem is the problem. Your dream customers think the problem is the problem. When you show your dream customers your level of expertise by showing them that the real problem that's causing the problem is something else, then they're like, this guy's a genius. I'm all ears. Where do I sign?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then the finally, we talked about, so, poke, and then we have HIPPER, right? So we are essentially, talking about the solutions and the effect,
Yep.
right? So that's what he calls the new mechanism. So
Yeah.
once your prospect believes that the new opportunity is a key to their desire, so now what you have done is you have stacked your new opportunity to attach to the desire. That's
Yep.
what you do in the VSL.
Yeah.
And then you say now that your product or service is the only way to fulfill that desire, newfound
Yeah.
desire you have, right?
Yep.
So it's the only mechanism, it's the only way to essentially, basically, it's when it comes to like getting them into in a pill, right? So we are providing the
Yeah.
pill and the effects of that. You're essentially telling them there's a time to, like you show them that
Yeah.
your new mechanism or the product or service is the only way for them to
Yeah.
achieve this desire, right? So
Yeah.
that is the concept, we have thoroughly like digested, implemented, and we are loving this because this works. Whether it's webinar, whether it's VSL, man, it's a phenomenal, like, yeah, it's unbelievable what we've been able to do. Imagine like clients, we have clients where we are doing seven, eight, 900,000 dollars a month cash collected,
Let's go.
right? And you can have the front end funnels, but these are the high ticket funnels, right, where the cold traffic to the high ticket. Now a lot of people have started experiencing that, in this market and in this economy, um, the cold to high ticket is no longer working. Total horseshit in my
Let's
experience.
go. That's what I
It's
like to
working.
hear.
Now it's so, to be fair to them, sorry, to be fair to them, it's not working the way it used to.
Yeah.
Hands down, no question about. But that is true for any market. The one strategy you implement is not going to constantly work, right? What you have to do is you have to come up with a different strategy. So now we suggest that we offer low ticket products in the front end, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's your challenge with the book, free plus shipping book funnel, right? Something in the front end that can get you almost like SLO, like self
Yeah.
liquidating offer,
It's the
right?
bridge. It's the bridge, the trust bridge.
Yeah, and the self liquidating offer essentially, and then from there you essentially ascending them to the offer.
Yeah. Because so very few marketers have talked about the concept of um for lack of a better term, the principle of time invested. Dan
Mm-hmm.
Kennedy is one of the first people that I've actually heard talk about this outside of myself. I'm sure you talk about it as well, but when it comes to if the market is unsure, if there's uncertainty in the market, if
Yep.
funnels don't seem to be working as well as they could, especially on the high ticket side, you have to realize that the easiest way when it comes to um, the hardest way versus the easiest way. The easiest way to get somebody to buy my high ticket offer is if they've invested hundreds of hours with me. They've watched hundreds of hours of my videos, they've read all of my books, they've attended my seminars. They are going to buy. That's one end
Mm-hmm.
of the spectrum because the know, like, and trust factor is through the roof. On the other end of the spectrum, we have people that they just opted in, they just watched the VSL, and so maybe they've spent 20 minutes with you and you're trying to sell them that $30,000 offer. The person that spent 20 minutes with you versus the person who spent 300 hours with you, it's going to be infinitely harder to sell the person that only has spent 20 minutes with you. And so,
Right.
in a market of uncertainty, the trick that bridges this gap of, hey, my high ticket offers don't seem to be working as well is exactly what you're saying, Janak. We throw some low ticket offers on the front end because we want more time invested with our dream customers, meaning we want them to
Absolutely.
invest time with us so that they can know, like, and trust us before they hit that VSL and before they book that call.
Yep, absolutely true. One of the things we also do, so let's imagine that you don't have any front end funnels. That's okay. And one of the challenge, what we see, most of the client faces, like they are getting leads, they are getting book calls, but the show up rate is really bad, right?
Yeah.
So how do you resolve that? Right. So first of all, the first thing we tell our clients that you have to be completely congruent A to Z. That means that ads all the way to sales script
Yep.
has to be completely congruent, talking about the same HIPAA formula, same 16 word sale. Everything has to be consistent. Even your appointment setters has to be, consistent, right?
Yeah.
So that's one. Second thing we do is most of the clients, when they come to us with this problem, they are generally, or their agency is generally focusing on what we call top of the funnel. They're getting more leads at the top of the funnel,
Yeah.
right? In the funnel. But instead of that, what we suggest, what we do is, let's actually turn optimization on the bottom of the funnel. And here's a trick we use. And this is, I think, this next sentence is going to be worth it for everyone who just stayed all the way until now.
Let's
Okay.
go.
So, first of all, whether you're running Meta campaigns or YouTube or Google or whatever campaigns, you can actually turn on optimization based on a particular event or particular pixel, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
So you have a pixel on the call booking page, the Calendly page, right?
Right.
And on that page, you put the pixel, and then you tell Facebook, give me more people who are not the Calendly page. Sorry, the thank you page after the Calendly page. I apologize.
Yeah.
You are telling Facebook, for that matter, you can say, Facebook, give me more people who are more likely to land on that page. That
Nice.
means they've
Yeah.
gone through all of that and they land on that page, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Now, here is what we do, and this is where the trick is. Okay, that's fine. Anyone can do this, right? So this is what we do.
Yeah,
In order,
most people don't think to do that, but yeah.
yeah, but let's imagine that you are advanced enough to do this. Fine.
Yeah. Mhm.
There's one more level.
Oh.
So what you do is one of the things we do is, before that step, before they get to book a call, there is an application. This wouldn't work if you have book a call and then application. In that scenario, it doesn't work. It has to be application first and then book a call. This is the reason why we actually have application first. Okay, after they watch the VSL. So they are booking the call,
Mhm.
right? They're filling out the form rather, right? Application. And there are one or two questions. Depending on the answer to those questions, they become either qualified or do not qualify.
Right.
Okay. So if they're qualified, only those people get to book a call. Do not qualified people go to a different page.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're segmenting it.
Yep.
Step number one. Now, when they go to book a call page or the Calendly page, on that page, we have the same pixel which has been there on all the steps in the funnel.
Yep.
On this do not qualified page, there is a separate pixel. We do not even put the original pixel there.
Separate
Why?
pixel.
Yeah, that's the trickery here.
Okay.
So segmenting them is step number one. That's the advanced, anyways, advanced. There's one more advance to that, which is putting the separate pixel.
Okay.
Now you take that pixel and then tell Facebook
Negative audience.
exactly. You create a lookalike
Let's
audience from
go.
them. You can create a lookalike audience of people who are looking like those people, and then you can then say, Facebook, remove everyone who look alike like this
Oh
people.
man.
So that's how we have better quality, better show up rate, and that's how we have, one of the example is this client I was telling you about. We spend about between $70,000 and $80,000, and we generate, about 800K a month. Okay. And
Love it.
our show up rate is like 68%. And our conversion rate from the sales is about 36%.
Yeah.
Every 3 calls, we get 1 sale for 10,500.
Let's go.
In today's market, it's working.
That's amazing.
So
What makes
that's the way we have been able to sort of optimize this in
Yeah.
a way which is,
What's
hey,
the niche for that one?
it's a cybersecurity training.
Nice.
Very, very niche. Imagine that.
Yeah.
If you have a broader niche, this would be game over. You can clean 1 to 2 million a month.
Let's go.
Yeah. Now, you don't have to be there. You're going to be happy at 100, 200K a month, but that's not the point. The point is, you almost have to train, uh, and this is true for YouTube, Google, Facebook, Instagram, all of that. You
Yeah.
almost have to train the algorithm by segmenting, by negative, audience, right? Removing the audience. You just have to train it because most of those platforms. Now, let me give you the secret. The reason why we have D2C brands and then expert brands is because we understand both very, very well.
Hmm.
And for all the major platforms, social platforms or search platforms, they are geared towards the D2C brand. That's why on the D2C brands, you can just turn on purchase conversion campaigns and then bam, things start popping. Obviously, I'm just making it very simplified. It's not that. There's a whole conversion rate optimization, product placement, product upsell, downsell, all of that. I'm not saying that it's not difficult. All I'm saying is that from the campaign strategy standpoint, essentially it's a purchase conversion campaign or add to cart
Yeah.
campaigns.
Right.
Over here, it's a completely different. Like you have to segment, you have to
Mm.
split, you have to give the data back to Facebook, negative audiences, all those stuff. And none of those are generally required for the D2C campaigns. Yeah.
Yeah, I no, I understand exactly what you're saying because it's the amount of people out there that are going to buy my high ticket offer. I mean, today, realistically in the world, if I was able to present to the entire world, I mean, maybe there's a million people in the entire world that are actually going to buy my high ticket offer. But to actually put all of them in a bucket, when it comes to high ticket offers, because
Mhm.
when it comes to the e-commerce product, there's a billion people that might be buying my product.
Interested. Yeah.
But for my high ticket offer, there might be like really realistically like a million people that would buy it today,
Absolutely.
which would be incredible. But to put the right buckets and define those through the process, and that's why it's so genius that the funnel that you just described, which is
Mhm.
mind-blowingly amazing, but it's long at the same time. There's a purpose for each level in the funnel. And if you don't have that funnel stretched out, if you try to skip some of the steps and just go to straight to the sale, then the whole funnel breaks. But
Right.
because we have the steps and because were able to train the pixels and put the right people in the right buckets and show the algorithm it's actually this little bucket right here where our dream customers are coming from, because we're able to do that with the sequence and with the way we set up our tracking, that's why we win.
Absolutely.
Love it. Well, if that didn't get people excited to hire Janak, and who, by the way, reminder, he just closed Jay Abraham. So there you go. What? If that doesn't get people excited to try you out in order to help optimize and help you get going with your own high ticket funnels that convert like crazy, then I don't know what will. Janik, this was simply amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Where can people go? Where can people learn more about you and your services? What kind of call to action do you have for us?
So if you just want to quote unquote learn more about this, you can follow me on social channels. My first name, last name. So JANAK MEHTA, Janak Mehta. On Instagram, on Facebook, I hang out, and in LinkedIn as well. And then if you are interested in working with us, you can go to Scale, SCALE, scalepaidads.com, PAIDADS.com, scalepaidads.com. That's the place you want to go to, or you can check us out at clientsonline.com, CLIENTS online.com. There you go.
Clientsonline.com or scalepaidads.com. That's Janak Mehta, JANAK MEHTA, one of my best marketing friends in the world, fellow genius. I love it when I'm able to sit down and just talk high level stuff with a mastermind like you. Thank you so much, Janik. Check out the websites, check out Janik, and hopefully you'll be one of the next success stories along with Jay Abraham. Let's go.
Let's go, man.
Let's go.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right. Thank you for joining us in this episode of the Marketing Podcast Party. Please share this episode with your friends, family, and business partners. Also, remember that the party continues with your free copy of the Ideas That Influence book and interactive box experience. I wrote the book and created the box experience to help you with even more wildly successful marketing ideas. Head on over to bigideasbox.com to grab your copy. You'll get your copy for free. You just pay shipping and handling. Once again, that's at bigideasbox.com for your free plus shipping copy of Ideas That Influence. I'm Daniel Zinn. This is the Marketing Podcast Party, and I will see you in the next episode.